Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. The real reason why silver price is so low and why it should rise soon. Let's explore! Now, most of us understand that there are times throughout the year that there's just not as much interest in precious metals, not a whole lot of activity, not a lot of trading going on. One of those times is, should be about right now. Summertime, the summer doldrums usually is somewhat bearish for precious metals. We've seen that in years past, save for last year, because at this time we saw a huge spike, especially in gold. It reached its all-time high in nominal dollars. Silver price spiked up dramatically, well over $25, $26. It even got to $30 for a brief period of time. And this year, we've seen the prices pull back rather dramatically. And myself included, but many other analysts have blamed it on the summer doldrums. But I'm going to talk about perhaps the real reason why silver price is so low right now and why it should rise soon. Doesn't mean it will. And basically, I'm referencing an article from Kitco News that talks about this and is why I still am bullish on silver. I'm going to stand by my prediction even now as we head into late summer. We're almost through with August right now. I believe that silver could touch $30 an ounce, maybe before pulling back before the end of the year. But we'll see. I originally had estimated that silver would get up to between $30 and $35 an ounce this year. But we've had some hiccups along the way, and we're going to talk about that in this article. The silver market has been attracting new attention as the precious metal underperforms in the marketplace. Many analysts have said that the metal is significantly oversold and due to a bullish correction. In a report that was published Wednesday of last week, commodity analyst at Metals Focus said that they remain bullish on silver as the metal's industrial demand continues to look bright. They added that industrial demand, which makes up about 50% of the silver market, will provide some critical support for prices. Actually, it's more than 50%. It's the biggest driver of silver demand is in that market for the industry. The analyst noted that silver's lackluster performance could be due to shifting expectations for weaker global growth as the world continues to deal with the surging cases of the COVID-19 pandemic, specifically what's recognized now as the Delta variant, which is now considerably more infectious. And there has been some science that has said that it is more severe in some cases too, although I think the jury is somewhat still out on that. But they added that they expect this to be a short-term driver for silver. But it is something that we are seeing here. It's frustrating many of us, and of course there are theories and as far as to what this really is. But again, we're talking about it in reference to the markets. I don't necessarily want to get into a debate about that. People have different philosophies about it, but nonetheless, we can see it's having an effect on the markets. In our view, however, we have retained our positive outlook for silver industrial demand both this year and looking forward ahead, even if the global economy does face several headwinds, the analyst said. So even if there is this continual uncertainty that it's going to see higher industrial demand. While the gold market has recovered from its recent flash crash, which sent prices briefly below $1,700 an ounce, silver has struggled to bounce off critical support levels. September silver futures last traded at $23.60 an ounce, which is down 0.74% on the day. And in fact, the silver to gold ratio is still pretty high. In fact, as the recording of this video, it's at 75.76 to 1. It did get closer to 80 earlier. The gold to silver ratio is again 75.76. It takes 75 ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold. One of the reasons why Metals Focus remains bullish on silver's industrial demand is because of how fast the global manufacturing sector bounced back after governments worldwide initiated strict lockdown measures last year. So when we thought we were out of it, the markets did bounce back, and the industry manufacturing bounced back until the Delta variant kind of made its way. And now that's just provided some uncertainty. Even though the pandemic continued to exact a heavy toll, industrial activity returned quite sharply as the year progressed. Although the second half performance was not strong enough to compensate for the initial weakness and ensure that the full year decline in 2020 was not as pronounced as it might have been, the analyst said. The second half of the 20 recovery has carried over into this year. One central area for demand for silver continues to be in solar power generation. Silver is a critical component in photovoltaic solar panels. Metals Focus said the demand for solar power will only continue to grow, and it looks like thrifting of the precious metal has reached its limit. And so, yes, indeed, so that means it's going to require more of the metal for those applications. According to their research, the number of countries installing at least 1 gigawatt of new PV capacity rose to 18 in 2020 compared to only 11 in 2018. This shows how PV is gaining in popularity as low-carbon strategies increasingly take center stage, the analyst said. Another major sector to watch is the microchip sector, which has seen significant supply constraints after the global economy ground to a halt due to COVID. But this sector is starting to see capacity grow as companies look to expand their inventories. Current lead times to secure semiconductors are currently around 20 weeks, which suggests that supplies will, at the very least, remain tight well into next year. In fact, our research contacts in the chip sector have suggested that their order books will remain strong at least until 2023, which will be supportive of higher industrial silver demand. And we know that silver is used heavily for semiconductors, and the chip shortage, is certainly something to keep in mind and will have an effect on silver demand. And so that should encourage silver stackers out there. But, we've seen the predictions by everybody about where the price is going to be. And we've been disappointed before, and more than likely we'll be disappointed again. But regardless, I think it's something that we'll continue to strive to keep in mind and realize that, there is going to be sectors of the economy that will press on, and silver will play an important role there. And investors shouldn't expect to see industrial demand for silver slow down anytime soon because of that factor. The outlook for industrial silver offtake, both this year and further ahead, looks bright. Not only should newer areas thrust ahead, but established uses should also enjoy steady gains. As part of this, avenues for thrifting and substitution look limited. As such, we expect industrial demand to achieve successive highs over the short to medium term, they said. So think about that. Over the short to medium term is what they are projecting here. Metals Focus is. Now, are they right or are they wrong? I don't know. But I think in the end, I believe they probably are onto something here. And the timetable may be off a bit, but I think our patience is going to pay off for silver in due course. What we know that we don't have a lot of patience for is the unfortunate aspect of the premiums, because they will increase as well, which means that separation between spot price and the physical price that you pay for it, as well as selling it, if you need to sell it, is going to be something to take into account and consideration as well. So keep that in mind. Silver is a metal that has certainly frustrated us. It has encouraged us. It has angered us, especially when you see milk spots on your silver products. But overall, in the end, we know that it does serve as a wealth preservation tool. And that is quite exciting to think about. And so hang in there, silver stackers. I would encourage you as we continue to stack and keep things in perspective. And as long as we do that, the fundamentals will remain. And I believe that very well could be one of the reasons, the real reason why silver has been down this year. Post your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.